So I am a first-year teacher. Any other teachers in the house? Okay, relax. Not everybody's a teacher. Okay. Now, just my whole story will be revolved around the fact that I had ideals before being a teacher of basically based on different books I read. Nothing they taught me in college because they didn't really teach me anything. But this idea of like taking responsibility for your actions. So like this book I read called Punished by Rewards was like, don't give rewards, don't give consequences. The kids should make the right choices without that extra motivation. So I'm like, yes. And the other book I read was Teaching Content Outrageously, which is like, the only reason kids misbehave, so I'm a Philadelphia public school teacher, the only reason they misbehave is because you're boring. You need to really kind of up the drama. So I'm believing in that, I love that. So I'm a teacher, and just to set up, before my first example, my classroom environment for the first 2 weeks is to the point where it's so chaotic. There's fights, there's throwing stuff, it's so loud that the good students, which is like, you know, I mean, the ones who are behaving at the moment, are crying and holding their ears because they're so overwhelmed by the chaos. They cannot take it. There's tears, and it's horrible. And I feel like I'm a cause of that. So that's part of the environment. Another part is like I'm getting hit in the head with shit. The sad part is I could not catch who was throwing the stuff. I would turn to write stuff on the board, whatever, and I kept erasers, pieces of crayon, whatever. I kept getting hit, and I got so frustrated to the point I threw a chair as hard as I could, as far as I could, against the corner, and just said some curse words. But you learn a lot about yourself, my fellow teachers. You learn a lot about yourself when you're a teacher and like anger problems. But anyway, so that's the environment when I'm like, all right, my first opportunity to kind of go outrageous. We're learning about the giving tree, and all right, I'm just going to become a tree for this lesson. And if you're not familiar with the book, The Giving Tree, it's basically about this boy in this tree, a talking tree, who's very giving. And the boy just kind of plays with his apples, eats the apples, hangs on the branches, and then uses the branches to build a house, eventually cuts the stump, the whole tree down to make a boat to go away because he's depressed, he becomes an older and older man. And all that's left is this little stump. So this tree has been used and abused, and I'm starting to feel that way as a teacher. But anyway, I come dressed as a tree. I got branches from the park. I'm like having like branches all out the side of my body. And I got, you know, face paint, the whole deal. I'm talking like a tree. I'm like, hey, my name is the Giving Tree. What's your name? Okay, stop pulling at my branches. Stop hitting each other with the branches. Hey, what are you doing? I think the kids were taking the book too literally. Where, in the book, you know, they're kind of using, you know, the tree is giving up the branches. Anyway, so eventually I had to lose the tree voice and start yelling, which doesn't work either. You know that if you're a teacher, it does not work. So I should have learned that, like, the week before, where they locked me in the closet. And, you know, when you get locked in a closet as a teacher, when you actually bust out, like, these kids didn't know me. This was the second week of teaching. And I said to the kid right to their face, you don't know who I am. You have no idea where I came from or what I'm going to do to you right now. I could have been in jail for who knows what. You better be careful who you lock in the closet. It was 9 times 10, but you get the idea. So, those experiences, but nonetheless, it didn't deter me. I'm still, next week I'm like, okay, we're learning about India. It's a math lesson tied into India. I will come in as Mr. Shah. Hello, I am Mr. Shah from India. I have the whole outfit, everything. I'm like, in my country, we do not wear our shoes inside. Let me take off my shoes. Okay. And we learned some math. And like 20 minutes later, I'm like, okay, right on my shoes. Who has taken my shoes? Okay, so I had to get us again. Lose the India voice. I didn't lose it enough, early enough. But anyway, security guard got me to shoes eventually. But again, these books taught me, like, okay, make the child responsible for their actions. I'm like, that's good. That's good. And so I'm talking to the kids one time on one of my little speeches. I'm like, you know, it's like 6th grade class. I'm like, y'all giving the peer pressure. You're not like owning up to your own decision. You're letting other people influence your decisions you make. At the same time, I was wearing very tight pants. And I heard one of the kids snicker, there's a lot of pressure going on those pants right now. So, all these strategies of mine are not working. But you know what, these kids, I'm starting to learn, they come from these really tough backgrounds. And, like, just even today, this kid who's, like, one of my hardest, like, students I'm working with, who I hear her screaming, cursing out a teacher in the hallway. I'm on my break. She comes in my room, like, tears streaming down her face. And I just feel like, you know, I'm glad she's coming to me. And, like, it's amazing. They'll tell you they hate you to your face. And literally 20 seconds later, they'll hug you in that, like, moment. And I think it's teaching me what they need and what they're missing at home. And the giving tree at the end, if you know the story, it's a stump. And the little boy's like, he's an old man, and I was like, I just need a place to rest. And the tree's like, okay, just come sit and rest. And I want to be that. I don't want to say to the kids, come sit and rest, because that's weird. But I do want to say, you know, if you need a hug, if you need love, I want to give that for you, even though I cannot control this classroom. So I hope I can give that to you. Thank you.